Hello, I'm Mike. I'm the manager here at the Complete Traveller Antiquarian Bookshop in Midtown Manhattan. Today we're going to give you a quick tutorial in book condition, which is the single most important factor in selling old and rare books. Here you can see a couple of examples of older books. This is from early in the 20th century. And first of all, what is important to know are a few of the terms that we use. Mostly we note wear to the extremities of the book, which means the corners, the edges, the spine, the edge of the spine here, and on the inside, this is called the hinge. The main area where all the pages are bound together is called the book block. The binding is how the pages are sewn together. And then either end you have the end papers. Note that these are sort of a marbled design, which would be called marbled end papers. Now what we would do is we would look at the corners of the books, the edge, the spine area with the raised bands here. We'd look at the hinges here. You see starting to separate a little bit here, so that would be, we would note that the hinges was started, as it were. We'd note the presence of this book plate, which a lot of people pasted into their books to identify them. And generally speaking, condition is on a graded scale. You'd start, if a book was falling apart and in very poor condition, we'd call it poor. Then it goes a little better to fair, a little better to good, very good, and near fine. If you found a book right off the press or right out of the box from the shipper, you'd call it as new, but that's really quite scarce. Now, in this particular case, this book we would consider very good. It's important to note that in the book business, in terms of condition, good is not. It's one of the very low end of the spectrum. So you see the wear here. You see there's a slight wear to the other extremities here. I noted already that the hinge was started and things like that. This little tear here would be noted. And the previous owner of the book has made an inscription here, which would be noted and would be considered by collectors to be slightly detrimental to the condition. Notice these spots here. These are caused by the oxidation of the paper and would be called foxing, similar to age spots in people. And all these things would be taken into account. Now, if the hinge was in good shape, if the foxing wasn't there, if the inscription wasn't there, we might call it BG+, or even in special cases, near fine. This is just a very quick overview, and with dust jackets, it's very similar as in this book. You take note of the spine. Perhaps it's faded from the sun. Perhaps there's a little wear. Perhaps there's tears. If a book is torn and there's a chunk missing, that's called an open tear. If it's just torn where no substance of the dust jacket is missing, that's called the closed tear. All these things would be noted, and a lot of times if you were giving a book as a gift, the price would be taken out. That's called price clipped and would certainly be a condition issue, which we would also notice. Keep in mind that the most important thing, as my mother used to say, isn't the gift, it's the lack of thought behind it. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Books make great gifts no matter what condition there is. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.